So this is a multi-floor elevator that has a minimum distance of 3 blocks. So if your levels are, 3 blocks apart, then it will still work like that. So I guess technically, I don't know if this is 3 or 4, but I'm counting this as 3 blocks because that's how I counted my other ones that are 4 blocks. You can still do 4 blocks. If you do 3 blocks, the compactness, horizontal compactness of it is 5 blocks. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 9, which is quite a bit smaller than the last one I did, I think. And if you do a 4 block distance, then it's 5 by 7 like this. And I'm using diamond blocks just to kind of show you the horizontal dimension. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 5 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 4 by 5 this way. And it's only 4 by 7 for the 3 block minimum distance. And I'll tell you why those are a little bit different. When you make it more compact vertically, you have to spread it out a little bit more horizontally in order to make it work. But let's take a look at how this thing works. So you basically, this is the elevator car right here. So if this was our door, right, we would go in our door. Now, I know you guys want automatic doors and all that stuff, but my goal with this, while I'm building this little doorway, is to make this as compact as possible so that I could put it into a skyscraper, like that one, for example. Okay, we come into the elevator, and we're going to press the up button. There we go. And surprise, surprise, it goes up, just like this. And here we are at the first floor. Then this is the down button, so we could go back down, or we could go up to the next floor, and so on like this. There we go. Like this. And up to the top floor here. Just like this. Okay, our only option is to go down. So we go, you get the idea, right? There are a couple of small things that I want to tell you about, that I want to warn you about before I get a bunch of nasty comments about it. One of them, this does not have a call to floor feature. My goal was compactness, not features. So this does not have a call to floor feature, and I don't think I can add one onto this because of the way that I had to build these with these observers. The observers are actually what is triggering the mechanism. The other thing about this is that it is a flying machine. Okay, so it's a little slow because flying machines are slow. And then also flying machines are notoriously bad for lag, right? So if you're finding yourself glitching through it, especially like on consoles or something like that, don't put a bunch of nasty comments in the comments that it doesn't work, because I'm on Java Edition and it's working fine on Java Edition. Even in a server, you might glitch through the floor. So you're going to have to test this out on the server if you're going to want to put it on a server. But in like a single player local world like I'm using right now, it's on Java Edition. It should work just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how to build this thing. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is define where your floor is. It'd be nice to define where all of your floors are in your building first. That would be the first step. But there's my floor right there. Let's say that this is this iron block. Whoops, iron block. Iron block. Let's say this iron block is my floor right here in my skyscraper or whatever. It's my base floor. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 immovable blocks like that for your door. Okay, next what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put 2 honey blocks like that. Then you're going to take a piston and point it down that way. And then you're going to take an observer and face it outwards from this piston, like that. No. Then you're going to take an observer and face it outward. Let's try that again. Then you're going to take a piston and face it outward, like that. Right there. And your piston might fire. I'm on 1.16.4, so it doesn't seem like the observers are doing that when you place them. Anyways, then I highly recommend, highly recommend that you take and put an immovable block right there or anywhere on top of this temporarily until you get the next level built. Because, yeah, flying machines are notoriously irritating for taking off on you. Okay, next what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 slime blocks like that. And then you're going to take a sticky piston and face it upwards, actually right here. You might have to break that honey block and then put it back. And then you're going to take another observer and you're going to face it. Okay, so we're going to place it out that way. like that. So these two observers are kind of facing at 90 degrees to each other. And then you have the sticky piston facing up like that. There we go. Okay, got it. So it's like this. We do a little spin around so you can see all that. Okay. Then the last thing that you're going to do is take an observer and stick it underneath this sticky, this slime block right there, like that. And then I highly recommend that you put an immovable block right there. You could also put it like right here, or you could put it right here, or don't put it there. Just put it right there. One of those three places is good for the immovable block. Okay, that way your elevator will stop. If you know you have enough blocks below it, then like 12 blocks or more, then you don't really need this. But if you might be building something underground in the future, then you definitely want to put an immovable there. It's just better to go with the immovable and not have to worry about it later. Okay, then, and keep this immovable right here until you're done with this part. What you're going to do is you're going to place 2 observers facing upward like that, and then you're going to take a block of choice. I'll use some orange concrete for my block of choice. That way you know. Orange concrete, block of choice. Okay, there's a block of choice. And you're going to go up 2 like that, and you're going to put a button on it. I'm using Blackstone buttons because they're fancy and new, but you can use any button, doesn't matter. And then if you look up at that button and hit shift and place an observer, you need an observer looking at that button right there. Okay, now you can remove this right there. Next, what you want to do on your next floor up. So let's say I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm only going up 7 just so I have enough room so that you can see what's going on as I'm building this. So let's say that this is my next floor, okay? It doesn't have to be 7. And then I have, let's say that that's my floor, my orange floor there. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to put a block, come out a block like this, down 1 and over 1 like that. Okay, then on that block, you're going to take and put a piston. It can be a regular piston. In fact, I recommend a regular piston. I think it has to be a regular piston. Yeah, if you're going to put floor, use a regular piston. Okay, there we go. Regular piston, and then put another block on top of that right there. And these 2 have to be immovables. Okay, next you're going to place a block right there, and then 2 more. And then you're going to come over 1, and then on the side of that block, you're going to place 2 more. So you have this shape right here. Then go ahead and put redstone on top of all of that, just like that. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place an observer facing, so its face is facing up, right behind this sticky piston. And then you're going to place 1 more, so that observer is facing up right behind that sticky piston, like that. There we go. Okay. Then you're going to take a block of choice and place it right there, and then a button on that block of choice. Like that. Okay. Okay, so next what you're going to do is you're going to come right here and you're going to place an observer facing up and then an observer facing up into that observer like that. Then you're going to place a block of choice on top of it, 2 blocks up like that, and then you're going to place in another observer facing up there. Then a block of choice on top of this redstone right here, and then a button like that. Okay, next what you need to do is you need to come from this piston right here. You're going to come out 2, and then out 1 more, and then over 1 like that. Okay, so you're going to have a block right there, but it has to be on the same level as this piston. And like if this is your flying machine, it's going to be on that block right there. That makes sense. Okay, next what you're going to do is facing, let's see. So let's go ahead and place a block right there, and then 1 underneath it, and then you can break that one and place an observer going into that block like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place in 1, 2 blocks like that, and then an observer facing this way. So it's going to be facing so that it is facing like towards the front of your elevator, towards the doors. And then break these 2 blocks and face and put 2 observers facing down into that observer there. All right, so this one's facing that way. These 2 are facing down into it. Then you're going to take a piece of redstone and stick it on top of that observer. Then in front of that observer, you're going to place a block and then a block underneath it like that. Then go ahead and place an immovable block right there. Break this one. place in an observer on it facing into the observer on 2 ticks like that. And I suppose you could use a piece of redstone right here, but the timing of this is super critical, that it is timed just right, because this is the reset circuit. So if you might know that, like when you're running a flying machine, a vertical flying machine, when it goes down, it needs like a reset because it pushes itself apart and then it stops. And so then you have to reset it. So this is the little reset circuit right here. Okay, just like that. There we go. That should be good enough so that this will come up here like this. There we go. And you saw the reset circuit fire even though it didn't come up, and that's fine because it resets. Now when you're running this elevator, make sure that you don't press the go button like right when you get to the floor. Like wait a half second till the elevator completely stops and you don't hear any more pistons, and then you can push the button. Just a little tip there. Okay, now the way that this thing works is when you press this button, what it does is it actually triggers this observer on the flying machine. It triggers this one, which then causes the flying machine to go down. So this is your down button. But at the same time, what it does is it activates this piston. And when this piston is activated, it's no longer sticky. It will no longer stick to the honey block. So that will allow it to move even though in this position, when the piston is retracted, it will stop. So it works very much like my other elevator. Same thing with this one. This one activates the observer that will make the flying machine go upwards. And at the same time, it will activate this redstone, which turns on the piston, which unsticks it from the elevator. So that's how it works. And then if you want to do, so this is the 4 block minimum one. So if you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have the 5th one is your floor. Like, so if basically you have a space of 4 in between the floors. Let me get iron for a second so you can count these. I know it's hard to count my ugly orange blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So if you have a 4 block space in between your floors, and like this is, you know, this is floor number 1, this is floor number 2, etc., like that. If you got that 4 block space, then you can build every single one of them exactly the same as this. Okay. If you have a 3 block space, then this is what you have to do. So 3 block space looks like this. We have 1, 2, come on, iron block, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is your, that's going to be your next floor where the elevator is. Okay. Remember, you have to build these out of immovables or out of something that they won't stick to, like the glazed terracotta. It can't be normal blocks, otherwise your flying machine won't work. And anywhere where these, any of these honey or slime blocks are going to touch, none of those can be, movable blocks. They have to be immovable if they're going to be touching these outside of this thing. Otherwise, you can put blocks like all over the place and it doesn't matter. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the 3 block distance. So if you're going to do the 3 block distance, what you have to do is put your reset circuit out this way. So you have to put a block there. Then you're going to put a block there with the repeater on it. And grab the repeater like that. An observer facing into it, up 1, 2, like that. Redstone on top of it. Then a block here with a repeater there into the next immovable right there. Come on. There we go. And that reminds me that this needs to be on 2 ticks, so don't forget that. Okay, so the reason for that is because this block that the repeater is sitting on, it has to go over here. Otherwise, it would obviously be where this repeater was and it wouldn't work out. So unfortunately, if you do a 3 block minimum distance, you have to do one of your reset circuits out this way and then the next one this way. Then the rest of the whole thing is exactly the same. So we have our piston that's going to go right here like that, and then immovable on top and bottom. Then we're going to grab this block for putting redstone on. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 1 there, and then 2 like that. Put redstone on it, like that. Then we're going to go ahead and put in 2 observers facing up with a block of choice here. Now, if you want to, you could use those little purple glazed terracotta blocks and make it so that the arrow's pointing up so that you remember like which way to put the block. Sorry, this would be the down one. My fault. This is the down circuit. The down circuit. The up circuit is this one. So this one would have the one facing up. Okay, so observer, observer. And as you can see, this is exactly the same as we did below, except for the circuit, the reset circuit's going out this way. Now, if you want your elevator to be, well, actually, that's not true. Never mind. Okay, almost done. And there we go. It's so much easier to build this, I think, in survival mode than my last couple of elevator designs. So much easier. So much easier. Those that built the elevator in survival, I know what it's like because I built one myself. There we go. And that should work if I got everything in place. Yep, works just fine. Okay, on the top one, here's all you have to do for the top one. The very top floor, I'm just going to go up a few like this so you can see it clearly. I don't even know how far that was. It doesn't matter. Minimum space is 3 using this method. Recommended space is 4 if you want the elevator to be as compact as possible on a horizontal basis. And then the maximum, it doesn't matter. You can put your floors all at different levels. They don't have to be evenly spaced or anything. That's the nice thing about a flying machine. Okay, anyway, here we go. So the down elevator, we start out just the same as we had on the modules. So this is the very top one. That's why I'm calling it a down elevator, because you can only go down. So you put the piston, you put this here and this here. I suppose you could just put a single block, an immovable block like that, and call it done. But the problem is if you're standing on the elevator and you run into the immovable block, that's not good. So we got to do the piston thing here. And then we're going to go ahead and just put 2 like that. Redstone on top of them, like that. Observer up, like that. Observer going into the bottom of that one, like that. And then block of choice and a button, which somehow got out of my inventory. There it is. That's the whole thing. That's the top of it. And then I recommend, like at the very, very top of your elevator shaft, putting 1 immovable block just so that your elevator doesn't go skyward on you if something does go wrong, or if you accidentally do something incorrect while you're building it or something, and you send the elevator off to the distance. Yeah, you just don't want that. So I would put 1 immovable above it. Once you feel like the thing is pretty solid and reliable and it doesn't mess up on you at all, then I would, you could remove that and put a block of choice, whatever you want at the top. But yeah. So what I mean by that is, like, if I go up here, right, if for some reason this thing fails to stop, then you'll have an immovable above you so that, like, the elevator will eventually stop. There we go. Okay, and then if you push this, you can see that it goes down to the next one down, like that. And our reset circuit works, and it goes down. And yeah, that's it. That's how you build it. Well, guys and gals, this has been Hex. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. That helps out my channel a lot. I appreciate it very much. But more importantly, I hope that you are having an amazing, beautiful day. And I hope you try this elevator out. I hope it works for you. I really do. I really do. And if you do want me to do one with a call to floor feature that is more compact using this kind of idea, leave me a comment. Anyway, I hope you're having an amazing day, and God bless.